Grand Rising family. Giving thanks and praise to the Creator, whoever you may conceive him or to be. Now, for the past 5 years, I've been watching this guy called Khalid Mayat Amara. And so far, I believe in him. So far, he was always right. So far, he was always right on what's going on. And like I keep saying years ago, Trump is going to be the last president. Trump is going to be the last president. Shit is going to go down, folks. I keep telling you guys, prepare yourself for the bullshit. Prepare yourself. Protect you and your family. I can put some clips here on him speaking about what's going to go on next year. And he no joke. He's no joke, folks. Hang on.
Department is going to be obsolete. They're going to be gone. The criminal justice system is actually going to change. The laws and the things, the crimes that they consider crimes once before, they're not going to be there anymore. I'm letting you know that this is going to turn into modern day Rome in the United States. Just so that you know, the rest of the world is already caught up and already in the middle of modern day Rome. But the United States is next. I told you this shit is coming and it's going to be implemented going forward. The domino effect is starting right now. The domino effect is starting right now. I'm going to let you listen to this video. Secretary of Defense, as well as Donald Trump, and watch the question that is asked. Listen to the question that is asked. National Guard will be in cities, states, and cities. There will be no police department. And guess what? They're not going to be everywhere either. The National Guard is not going to be everywhere either. It's going to be up to you to maintain your own peace and survival. It's going to be up to you for the most part. Just so that you know that. It is coming down the pike. Listen to the question that is asked, and then listen to the response that was given.
Hi, Seth. Sir, a memo circulating on social media details the establishment of a National Guard response force that's going to be trained in crowd control and civil unrest and deployed in all 50 states by April of 2026. Can you verify the authenticity of that memo, and do you have any more information on the operations?
I'm not going to answer particulars on something that may be in the planning process, but we definitely do have
in the planning process.
National Guard response forces, whether it's in each state, whether it's regionally, whether it's Title 10 active duty, whether it's Washington, D.C. We've got a lot of different ways that constitutionally and legally we can employ Title 10 and Title 32 forces, and we will do so when necessary.
Breaking news. Secretary Hegseth, sir, a memo circulating on social media details the establishment of a National Guard response force that's going to be trained in crowd control and civil unrest and deployed in all 50 states by April of 2026. Can you verify the authenticity of that memo, and do you have any more information on the operations?
I'm not going to answer particulars on something that may be in the planning process, but we definitely do have multiple layers of National Guard response forces, whether it's in each state, whether it's regionally, whether it's Title 10 active duty, whether it's Washington, D.C. We've got a lot of different ways that constitutionally and legally we can employ Title 10 and Title 32 forces, and we will do so when necessary.
And breaking news, this just in from Steve Bannon about Donald Trump's future presidential ambitions.
Well, he's going to get a third term, so Trump 28. Trump is going to be president 28, and people just ought to get accommodated with that.
So what about the 22nd Amendment?
There's many different alternatives. At the appropriate time, we'll lay out what the plan is, but there's a plan, and President Trump will be the president in 28.
So if that were to happen, by my calculations, Trump would be 82.
Well, like they were saying for years, that Trump is going to be the last president. Trump is going to be the last president. Make note, folks.
Term, so Trump 28. Trump is going to be president 28, and people just ought to get accommodated with that.
So what about the 22nd Amendment?
There's many different alternatives. At the appropriate time, we'll lay out what the plan is, but there's a plan, and President Trump will be the president in 28.
So if that were to happen, by my calculations, Trump would be 82. And if it were to happen and he complete a term, he'd be 86 at that term's end.
I want you to listen to something, see if you've heard this before. Here is our Speaker of the House on Friday. Listen.
They're going to descend on our Capitol for their much-anticipated so-called No Kings rally.
We refer to it by its more accurate description, the Hate America rally, okay? And I'm not sure how anybody can refute that. If you think about what's going to happen here tomorrow, you're going to bring together the Marxists, the socialists, the Antifa advocates, the anarchists, and the pro-Hamas wing of the far-left Democrat Party. That is the modern Democratic Party. That's where they've gone. And
Stop.
Hate America.
Did you hear this? Have you heard that before? Listen to this.
I put this up and said, radicals, Islamists, communists, and socialists will work together against Israel, against capitalism, and work together to overturn stability. They're all radical.
He's going to get a third term. So Trump 28. Trump is going to be president 28. And people just ought to get accommodated with that.
So what about the 22nd Amendment?
There's many different alternatives. At the appropriate time, we'll lay out what the plan is, but there's a plan. We had longer odds in 16 and longer odds in 24 than we got in 28. And President Trump will be the president of the United States, and the country needs him to be president of the United States. We have to finish what we started. Trump is a vehicle. I know this will drive you guys crazy, but he's a vehicle of divine providence. He's an instrument. He's very imperfect. He's not churchy, not particularly religious, but he's an instrument of divine will, and you can tell this of how he's pulled this off. We need him for at least one more term, right? And he'll get that in 28.
You're not driving me crazy. I'm really I'm trying to understand the coherence of the things you've just told me. On the one hand, you've said the Constitution is fit for purpose. Secondly, you've said that President Trump needs another term, even though the 22nd Amendment makes pretty clear that he cannot have another term.
Why does it make that clear?
Because he's on his second term already.
But at some point in time, we will make sure we go through Zanny and define all those terms.
But you will be undermining the spirit of that amendment, even if you find some way around it.
If the American people, with the mechanisms we have, put Trump back in office, are the American people tearing up the Constitution? Would that be tearing up? Would the American people be going against the spirit of the Constitution, ma'am?
I think yes, actually, because I think what you will end up with is a populist justification for a quasi-dictatorship.
That's not true at all. Trump
That's what it sounds like.
Trump is a dictatorship. Did you see the compromises he had to make on the big, beautiful bill? You see the compromises he has to do on everything, on accommodating Zelensky, on what President Trump. President Trump is nothing but a series of negotiations to kind of keep this thing rolling forward, where he's having trade-offs all the time.
Steve, you've just spent the last 20 minutes telling me we have to smash the other side.
How could they possibly? Communists, they're going to work with the anarchists. They want absolute state control over every aspect of life. Islamists, you throw them in, they want theocratic rule. They want Sharia law. Yeah. I know it was for the simple-minded back then, couldn't understand it, but I think you do. Why do they work together? Because they all share one immediate goal, and that is destroy the existing order. I did a monologue on hour number 1 of today's podcast. I urge you to go back and listen to it. Why is this being funded by billionaires? For the same reason. Destroy the existing order. All of them think they will win in the end, okay? They know they can't achieve their utopia without first tearing down the system that they hate, capitalism, constitution, Western civilization, whatever it is. And once the system is down, that's when real chaos begins. That's what...
Yesterday's monologue explaining why I thought so. And I think this is something that will be discussed for a very, very long time in a very positive way going forward. But I have a suggestion. It's not, nor should it be, the end of the peace process. The greatest danger and threat in the Middle East, which has spread to our country, our hemisphere, other Western nations, Britain, France, you name it, is Islamist terrorism. While it exists beyond the Middle East, the fact is that the Middle East is the hotbed of ideologically centered Islamist terrorism. It's where their so-called scholars are. It's where most of the mindset that we are dealing with.
Okay, let me say this to you. For the organic species of this planet, the prokaryotic cell, let me tell you something. Those that don't know who they are, what I mean by know who you are anatomically, You don't understand genetics, biology, chemistry, physics. You don't know who you are. You find out who you are by studying your genetics and your compatibility to all natural living things. This is why you know how they can name certain animals and know what the animals do? Because they studied them and they dissected them internally to externally. They just didn't take a camera and watch the species. They dissected the species.
That's the same thing they do with us.
Species internal organs, their system is working and operating, and how they compute that information in nature. The same way they did with you. You think 400 plus years of slavery was just about beating your ass and hanging you from trees and feeding you to crocodiles. They're not telling you about all the scientific experimentations. That's how they can tell. That's why they can name the smaller arteries. The small, the baby inferior arteries in your body. They actually have names to them. You know why? Because they have studied you, dissected you internally to externally. And those that don't understand who they are, you are easily misled, misguided, to believe that you are a human, that you need to continuously to put on a good face and prove to a species that you are a good human or a good slave. To be honest with you, you're proving this to a species that have shown you nothing but death and destruction.
True that.
So you are being misled. You are easily influenced, easily misled, easily being drugged up. You think food is just food, nor is nourishment, or is drugs. The body doesn't need food. It needs sunlight, minerals. And the sun gives you the highest amounts of minerals. That's why you are kept away from it in your jobs, in your houses, in schools, inside buildings all the time, and not getting any sunlight. So therefore, you are easily misled. For those that are unnatural to the planet, but have accepted this lie through your ancestors, through your forefathers, because you don't have ancestors, through your forefathers' genocidal acts on my people. You know who and what you are, but you haven't accepted it. So therefore, you accept the lies. And now you have been led back into the dark ages, where you will eat one another. This entity that created you didn't have any love, value, or remorse for you. Just so that you know, you were designed to be a part of a chess game that is far beyond your level of comprehension. You were designed to be a part of a chess game that is far beyond the level of your comprehension. And now that you are starting to see that it is now coming to an abrupt end, remember when I pointed my camera to the sky and y'all told me I was foolish and crazy. Remember when I told you Trump might be the last president. Remember when I told you there is no God, there is no Satan. Earth is a school. This is why every week you had a test in school. Even when you got a job, you got a test. This is why you went to school from 1 to 12th grade. You went there, everything internally, they projected to you externally. You have 12 cranial nerves, which has to do with your central and peripheral nervous system. Your brain is the controller and operator of your physical reality. And you laughed at first. You called me someone that was on drugs. I was off my rocker. When I wasn't speaking from my own personal feelings, I was speaking universal talk. I don't give a fuck about money. I've told you this many of times, many of sunrises before. You laughed at me because I said, Khalid, how are you so conscious but you're going to work? How are you so conscious and you're riding around with a driver's license or insurance? How are you so conscious and you're doing that? You laughed at me because I'm not one to usurp energy. Money means nothing to me. My people, the next generation, more importantly,
And
the
the children.
children on this planet, deserves better
Better.
than what we have been putting the fuck out.
True that.
They deserve
Better.
better.
True that.
And I don't care what the ethnicity group is. No child deserves to suffer. But if you don't care about your race, then I'm not going to care about them for you. I can't match your level of love and care for your race if you ain't already matching that. That would be wrong for anyone to do. Bees can't love flies more than flies love themselves. And flies cannot love bees more than bees love themselves. This is over. The dominoes are now in the
Falling.
lined up and it's starting to fall.
Fall.
November the 1st. And if you look at the movie V for Vendetta, what he say?
November.
I gotta give a shout out to Pindar, Moloch, the Dragon King, and his crew. This was a beautiful and amazing test. Earth was a school. This was to master your alchemy. And if you don't master your energy, your neuromelanin, that black magic that creates reality, if you don't master it and you allow someone to master it for you,
You'll be a
will
slave.
experience what they teach you, what is called death. And what you don't know, mental death is
Worse
far worse
than physical.
death.
Yep.
Mental death
It's far worse
is far worse
than physical death.
than physical death. I value you. I appreciate you, my brothers and sisters. Be prepared for false flags. Be prepared for the cell phones to go down. Be prepared for us not be able to communicate with one another. It's okay. It's all right. This is necessary. This must take place. In order for this world to be built and created, you don't even know. They don't even scratch the surface with the truth about slavery and how deep they abuse you and broke us psychologically through experimentation, through whips, through chains, through sexual violence. They don't even scratch the surface with truth. So this system has to go. We have to see the darkness in which we are being blinded to. We are already in darkness. We have to see this. America will be completely 100. It's not just America. Every continent, every country will be like modern day Rome. And we think this is going to last forever.
Nope.
But it's not. We don't need no spacecraft to come through the solar system. Your brothers and sisters are already
here.
They are here now witnessing, and first of all, they're
and waiting
for the perfect alignment.
Yep.
But they are witnessing because they want to see who is who. And when the power go out, when you have no more poison to put in your body, and your stomach is talking to you and making decisions
I've been
you,
saying for years,
and
prepare
not your
yourself.
prefrontal lobe or your soul. When your body is doing more talking to you than your true consciousness, which is you, and you start to act in an animalistic way, and you start to do all types of dark shit in the dark, by the way. You will get away with it for a time period. Remember, Jesus was tempted by the devil for 40 days and 40 nights. Jesus thought that was going to be forever, and he was fasting during that time, and he was tempted 40 days and 40 nights. There will be no cameras. There will be no local police department. There will be no ambulances. There will be no Rite Aids and pharmaceutical companies. It will be truly up to you and how you want to conduct yourself on your planet. It will be up to you. So you can move like a human, or you can move like an angelic, benevolent being. And that does not mean that you should not protect yourself and your family. If someone is coming to harm and take something from you, you better do what you are supposed to do. Understand and overstand that. Please have conversations with your children right now. Please, if you didn't have any conversations with your children, have them right now. And I don't care, again, what the ethnicity is. Prokaryotic cell or eukaryotic cell. Have these conversations, because the people that you consider your government, the ones that are passing and making these laws, they are not what you think they are. They can care less about you. Pink skin, complex cell, and you already know how they feel about us. In fact, I want to tell my brothers and sisters one thing. They have an admiration for us. It's just that their admiration goes so deep that they will abuse us. They fucking love us.
They want to be like us, but they can't.
They wish
they
could be
us, but they can't.
I value, I appreciate you. Y'all all have an amazing, supreme, cosmic rest of your day.
I have been watching this guy for years, and so far, this guy's on point. Khalid Mayat Amara. And I keep telling you guys, stuck up on your shit. Yeah, I'm forgetting violence, but stuck up on your shit. Get your shit together, because the shit's gonna go down. I keep telling people it's better to have it than to want it, than to want don't have it. Stuck up on fool stuff. Get your shit together, folks. It's gonna come to that. Peace out. I'm out of here. Much love. Much love. Much love.